Everyone wants to move fast, move ahead of others. The rat race is very much on. Kids are not kids anymore. They're expected to be superhumans. The digital immersion is facilitating all of this. Kids are hooked to media, to social media. On the show this week, we're telling you why and how Australia has decided to ban access to social media for kids under 16. Also on the show, world over, there is the emergence of a school of thought that believes that social media and media is not important, at least not in the initial stages of the lives of kids. They believe in doing things differently, in taking things slow and steady. They believe that going back to good old days of simple living, doing things in a simple way, connect with nature, away from media, social media including, is the best way forward. We're telling you all about alternative systems of education, which lays a lot of stress on why media access in the early years is extremely bad. I'm Sneha Mordani. This is Health360.
My government's world first decision to legislate 16 as the minimum age to use social media.
Everything happens at three levels: the head, the heart and the hands.
When you talk about alternate school, there is no pressure of education.
We give room and space for every child to develop or unfold in his or her own time.
Our top story is about a new buzzword, alternative education. So on one hand, while you see a bunch of education systems and parents fast moving towards competitiveness, they want their 5-year-olds to get into coding. On the other hand, there is the rise of a form of education that believes in holistic systems, holistic education, education for the body, mind and soul, doing things slow, doing things differently from the traditional school system. Competition is the last thing on their mind. Take a look at this report.
World over, the debate is raging on slowing down, on letting children be children, on not giving media to children. Questions are being raised on just why coding is necessary for kids as young as 5. People are increasingly asking themselves this question. Why should our children be Einsteins? Why should they know it all? Let's protect them from digital immersion. Let's not make them machines being churned out in traditional school systems. Let's protect them from this trap that everyone seems to be falling into. Perhaps a necessary evil. Or is it just that? An addiction? The debate is a heated one. In a first, Australia has banned social media access to kids below the age of 16. Social media that many believe is preventing children from being children. But world over, parents and educationists have been working to deal with the perils of media access for a very long time.
Know and how the continent
Along with a focus on educating the mind as well as the soul. And that's why alternative education assumes just so much importance in this day and age.
Alternative education nowadays is becoming a new phenomenon, which is also the need of the hour.
because now the kind of complexities we see all around, the environmental pollution in which we all are living. So all these are creating a stress upon the human beings and especially our children. So this alternative education is like a cool breeze in this moment of crisis and stress all around. So at every developmental stage, the curriculum brings something very close to their being.
I thought to myself, when I was 4 years old or 5 years old, was there really any fun part? Was there really any free play? Was there really a thought in my mind that, you know what, I have nothing to do today and doing nothing is the best part as far as a child is concerned? I somehow was not looking for something like that. And so we chose an alternate education, alternate schooling.
Empathy, self-learning, or the experiential part of that entire learning process was not there. As a result of which, a rhythm happened for my kids.
Alternative lifestyles, alternative education. More and more people are crying for a better system which works for their child rather than a system that just wants to pump out little factory workers. The school in Delhi's suburb, Noida, shows how. It's a school offering alternative education. It offers Waldorf education.
How the education enable for each child to slowly, in their own unique way, unfold. Right? It's not a very hurried approach, and how things are brought to children in a very age-appropriate manner.
Today, there are more than 1,200 Waldorf schools and an additional of 1,200 early childhood centers across 6 continents. India too is seeing a growing interest in alternative education, even though it may be seen as a risky, perhaps even a bold choice.
There's a clear understanding of child development and where child is in different phases of life, and the curriculum is based according to that. So even how the teacher approaches a child will be different. A Waldorf education emphasizes on the holistic development of an individual. You're teaching the thinking life of a child, you're educating the feeling life of a child, and you're also educating them to now transform this thinking and feeling into actions.
So what is Waldorf education all about? Waldorf education stresses on the need to let children even get bored. And just why is that?
I think it also helped us somewhere down the line to keep our son away from social media, because either he was just climbing trees or playing in mitti, or he was just left free. And you'll be surprised. You can try this with your child, or if you have kids around you. When they tend to get bored, all you have to do is just tell them getting bored is a very, very good thing. And trust me, they will come up with something or the other of their own. वो अपना game ही बना लेते हैं.
Going back to school, today is Handwork and Artwork Day.
They are working with their hands, they are working with the fine motor skills, they are working with the rich and vibrant colors altogether, and indirectly they are also working on the dexterity. This anyways is going to help them with writing, reading. There's a special kind of painting that we do in Waldorf schools, is wet on wet painting. The paper is wet and the colors that we use on the paper are also wet. So children can explore their creativity.
In Tamil Nadu, another school is imparting holistic education. very different from the conventional schooling method.
In a school like ours, we believe that children learn with their whole bodies. Whatever you may be learning numbers, and yet rhythm and movement support your learning of numeracy. You put the child at the heart of the narrative. We believe that there is something called differentiated learning, and that we believe that we give room and space for every child to develop or unfold in his or her own time. I think these are some of the main characteristics that set apart an alternate school from one that's mainstream.
Yet another important aspect of Waldorf education is the nature connection, which also is about showing children the natural rhythms of life and revealing our kinship with all living things. It's about careful observation to see what the natural world has to teach. This consciousness is also getting parents world over to turn to forest schools or programs meant for introducing nature to children.
Anybody know what is forest bathing? This is called basil. In English. Yeah, in English. This also has lot of medicinal values. Yeah. So the right one on the left, and take a look. Left on the right, and take a look. Like this? Yes.
Our programs are always held in a very natural environment, mostly in forest. Now these programs are basically designed to develop the life skills in a child. The social skills, the emotional skills, leadership skills, ability to think laterally, to come out of the box solutions. So these are the kind of things we focus on. These are all very intangibles. And the only way to do it, to connect the child to his primal instincts. That is why we go back to the survival skills, which are primitive skills for your basic needs of human life: fire, food, water, shelter. That is why I feel there is a growing need for these schools to be established to bridge that gap for the holistic development of the child.
So how are kids in alternative schools different from those in regular schools? What sets them apart?
Good. We don't have like workbooks or textbooks, especially in the earlier grades. They create a book of their own. So each child by end of the year has a compilation of their own work that they are building up.
And how can a school like this be acceptable to the mainstream?
For Waldorf education, it might take some time, to get to the masses. But wherever it is right now, it has served so many children.
Over time and how the continental drift happened.
A school so good, it feels like home.
Over time and how the continental drift happened.
Or a school at home itself. That is what many parents are choosing. Priya is one of them. Some parents have taken it as far as pulling their children even out of schools and homeschooling them. In Delhi, we met Priya, who homeschools her child. Why does she choose homeschooling?
Formal schools have especially now, veered towards a fear-based environment when it comes to learning. And learning in its truest form happens when the mind is free and finds a nurturing space and a loving space, and that reinforcement of wonder nurturing that wonder that is very natural in especially young children. That's one thing that's like diminishing a lot in formal schooling, because it's it's so goal oriented and so about like the targets that you've set for the year and where that should go.
It is currently, and I have not finished.
Homeschooling, alternative education. Forest schools. Focus on keeping children away from the digital world.
Because so that we'll blend in with the nature.
Giving them a real world experience seems to be the buzzword now. It's indicative of a sense of consciousness that it perhaps is the time to do things differently. It's indicative of a sense of consciousness that this perhaps is the time to do things differently, given the unknown challenges and problems that modern lifestyles and technology are bringing with it.
It's time for a quick commercial break here. Much more news around social media obsession on the other side.